In true Derek Krause style, I waited until this morning to write this. And then, of course, my printer broke and I had to borrow a neighbor's. So Derek watched over me as I wrote the few words I have. Today I stand before you honored, humbled, and a heartbroken man. I can tell you that Derek would not like all of this attention. He would not want to be in front of a crowd like this, but he would understand that it's his duty and that it's his responsibility, and he would do it. He would want to be the one that this has happened to. He had a genuine care for his friends, his family, and he might not always have shown us, but we all knew that he did. I will struggle to watch a Pittsburgh Steelers game without shedding a tear. As an avid fan, we spent time together. He was so passionate, he would drive you absolutely crazy to watch a ball game. We watched Super Bowl 43 together at his house, and when Santonio Holmes made a great catch, Derek was hysterical. He had been hysterical minutes before, but for completely different reasons. I watched him and his son hug, fall to the floor, and start to cry. He loved the Steelers as I do, but I couldn't watch games with him. He screamed, he jumped up and down. If the Steelers scored and you weren't in the room when they scored, you couldn't come back in the room until something else happened. I will think about him every time I ride my motorcycle. We spent a lot of time riding together in the summers, and I can remember a day trip that I found myself at the entrance of Grayson Highlands State Park in the Mount Rogers area, quite a ways away. 2 tanks of gas later and a sore body, we got home after dark, which was something we normally didn't do. We always got back during the day before our families would arrive home. To know that we will never get to take a motorcycle trip to the Outer Banks that we had talked about, and remember the hard way that he gave me because my wife and I had taken that trip. When I hear the song, "Don't Fear the Reaper" by the Blue Oyster Cult, I will smile and say to myself, more cowbell. He loved Will Ferrell and talked about how he watched the skits when he toured and when he served in Iraq. He was the one that brought to my attention one afternoon that when my eyebrows are raised, that I am mad about something or something is not right. Of course, I argued with him, and my wife standing close by spoke up and backed him up, so I had to turn back around and act like I was working. He would walk into my office before roll call with everyone standing there and say, "Stay away from Tom today, he's mad." And then there were some days that he would walk over to me and he'd put his hand on my shoulder and ask me if everything was okay. When I turn around from my desk and I look where he always stood, where he stood behind me, making jokes, laughing about something, or always picking at someone. I remember all of this wanting to throw things at him because he wouldn't stop singing the song, "It's Too Late to Apologize." And to know that every time that song comes on the radio, I will think of him. This song was set as my ringtone on my phone for when he called. Even my stepson knew when that came on my phone, he would look up and say, "That's the guy that drives tanks." On Thursday morning, Derek took the time before his tragedy and spoke to a gentleman named Joe Walker. Joe works on the grounds department here at Virginia Tech. During that conversation, he asked Joe about his son. He knew that Joe's son is serving in the U.S. Army, and he always wanted to check up on him. He always thought about others. He wanted to know that they were doing okay or if they needed anything. I am proud to say that I knew Derek Krause and that he was my friend. He will truly be missed and never forgotten. We all love you, Derek, and thank you for your sacrifice. Every one of us would gladly trade places with you, but I know that the events of December 8th worked out exactly how you would have wanted them to. I love you, Tina. Dustin, boys, we will find a way to get through this. As you look around, you can see our family. They have shown here today to provide us all with the support that we're going to need to get through it.